What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. For this camera comparison we have the brand new Poco F3 and then we have the highly popular iPhone 12. Now don't misunderstand the purpose of this comparison. Throughout this comparison I want to show you what a budget-friendly device like the Poco F3 can do when compared to a flagship like the iPhone 12. So that is the main reason why I'm making this comparison. Now, as always throughout this video, we're going to see a variety of daytime and nighttime pictures. We have daytime and nighttime sample videos and of course selfies. And just before we start, make sure to press that like button and maybe subscribe if you're new to the channel. So let's begin by checking out some daytime pictures. Alright, so first we are seeing some pictures that I took with the ultra-wide cameras on the back of the two devices. And the first thing you're going to notice here is the fact that the iPhone has the wider field of view. So you can capture a bit more in those pictures taken by the iPhone. Now for colors, it seems that the iPhone does have a bit more saturated colors. I feel the sky looks a bit bluer than what it was in reality. So I kind of prefer the colors that we get from the Poco F3. As for picture sharpness, that seems to be the same, but for dynamic range, the iPhone seems to do better in every single picture. Next, we're moving on to some 5x zoom pictures. So keep in mind that neither device has a telephoto lens, so what you're seeing on the screen now is basically digital zoom. For 5x zoom pictures, it seems that the Poco F3 does better in every single picture. Every single picture is a bit sharper. Most pictures taken by the iPhone with that 5x zoom seem a bit like a painting, not necessarily a picture. So for zoom pictures, the Poco F3 does better in my opinion. Next, we are moving on to pictures that I took with the main cameras on the back of the two devices and of course on auto mode. The iPhone doesn't actually have a pro mode, so there is no other way of actually taking those pictures. Alright, so looking at those pictures, all the pictures taken by the iPhone do seem to be a bit more saturated. The colors in those pictures are a bit more saturated, so the iPhone is trying to make those pictures look a bit more vivid. If you are into more natural looking pictures, I feel that for most pictures the Poco F3 will do better, at least for color accuracy. For picture sharpness, there isn't much difference in between the two, but for dynamic range, it seems that the iPhone does better in every single picture. So definitely check out these pictures and leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. So I'll let you guys watch a few more pictures and I will be right back. Alright, and we're gonna move on and check out some pictures that I took at night. And for all the nighttime pictures that you're about to see, I use the night modes on both devices. So the Poco F3 has a night mode available for the ultra-wide camera and for the main camera. The same for the iPhone 12. And the first pictures that you're seeing were taken with the ultra-wide cameras on the back of the two devices. And I have to say, for the ultra-wide camera, the iPhone does seem to do better in every single picture. Now, the iPhone doesn't do exceptional with that ultra-wide lens and the night mode, but still, the pictures are still better than the Poco F3. Most of the pictures taken by the Poco F3 with that ultra-wide camera don't look sharp at all. They almost look like a painting. So the ultra-wide camera doesn't do that amazing on the Poco F3 and of course at night. Moving on to pictures that I took with the main cameras and of course the night mode, well, the pictures from the Poco F3 are much better than the other pictures that we took with the ultra-wide cameras. However, the iPhone 12 does also do better with the main camera when compared to the ultra-wide camera. So overall, the iPhone 12 still does better for taking those nighttime pictures. The pictures look sharper and more detailed. Now, for color accuracy, the iPhone does seem to oversaturate those colors. So I'm not a big fan of how some of those pictures turn out. So for color accuracy, the Poco F3 does seem to do better than the iPhone. So I'll let you guys watch a few more pictures that I took at night. And once again, leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Which one do you think does better for those nighttime pictures? Next, we're gonna move on and check out some sample recordings that I've done with the iPhone and of course the Poco F3. Now with the iPhone you can record in 4K at 60 frames per second with the rear cameras and with the front camera. So any camera that you use you can do 4K at 60 frames per second. With the Poco F3 you can only do 4K at 30 frames per second, so that is the maximum recording resolution, and that's only if you use the main camera on the back. If you use the ultra-wide lens, you can only do 1080p, and the same goes for the front-facing camera. So there are some downsides to having a budget-friendly device like the Poco F3, mostly if you film a lot of video. So I'm gonna let you guys watch those sample recordings and I will be right back after. Alright, we have a quick video test between the Poco F3 and of course the iPhone 12. For this recording I'm using the main cameras on the back of the two devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. I'm just gonna stop somewhere around here. We're gonna pan right slowly and then back left. So this resolution, both devices have image stabilization as well. As you can probably see, I am walking. I'm also gonna do a bit of running so you can see how the image stabilization does while running. We're gonna stop here once again. We'll pan left slowly. And back right. So yeah, this is how a recording between the Poco F3 and the iPhone 12 would look like if you're recording in 4K at 30 frames per second and using the main cameras. I also wanted to show you a quick recording done with the ultra-wide lenses on the back of the iPhone 12 and of course the Poco F3. Now, if you're recording with the ultra-wide lens, the maximum recording resolution from the Poco F3 is 1080p. Where of course with the iPhone 12 you can actually do 4K at 30 and 4K at 60 frames per second. So that is the downside recording with the ultra-wide lens. I'm gonna pan left slowly. I'll keep going and I'm gonna walk straight for a bit. So we'll keep going for a bit. I'm gonna turn right somewhere around here. You also get image stabilization from both devices if you're using the ultra-wide lens. So yeah, 1080p with the Poco F3 and 4K at 30 frames per second with the iPhone 12 recording using the ultra-wide cameras on the back. And I have another quick recording between the Poco F3 and of course the iPhone 12 done with the main camera and 4K at 30 frames per second. I figured I'll show you how the devices do in more environments, in different environments. So I'm gonna stop somewhere around here, I guess. We're gonna pan right, so towards this building and up. And back down. Around here we don't have that much wind, but you're probably gonna hear some traffic aside from my voice. So yeah, this is how a recording in 4K at 30 frames per second would look like if you're using the main cameras on the back of these two devices. We are moving on to another quick recording with the front-facing cameras on the Poco F3 and of course on the iPhone 12. Now with the front-facing camera, the Poco F3 can only record in 1080p, where the iPhone 12 can actually do 4K at 30 and 4K at 60. But at least we do have image stabilization for both devices at whatever resolutions they are recording. So 1080p with the F3 and of course 4K with the iPhone 12. We're gonna stop here. I'm gonna spin around for a bit. I'm gonna keep going. And I'm gonna walk a bit faster so you can see how the image stabilization looks if you're walking a bit faster. So yeah, this is how a recording with the front-facing cameras on these two devices would look like. Keep in mind that it is a bit windy today as well. Alright, we have a quick video sample between the Poco F3 and of course the iPhone 12. For this recording I'm using the main cameras on the back of the two devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. And as you can probably see for yourself, I am walking fairly slow. Now it is a bit noisy around here, so you can probably hear the water to my left and maybe some traffic, but other than that you should only hear my voice. So we're just gonna turn left somewhere around here, go up the stairs. It is pretty dark from what I'm seeing on the screens on both devices. I'll keep walking till we get closer to the edge here. And here we're gonna pan left slowly. And keep walking straight. So yeah, this is how recording in low light between the Poco F3 and the iPhone 12 would look like if you are recording with the main camera and 4K at 30 frames per second. I also have a quick recording between the Poco F3 and of course the iPhone 12, but for this recording I'm using the ultra-wide lenses on the back of the two devices. Now with the Poco F3, the maximum recording resolution with the ultra-wide lens is 1080p at 30 frames per second, where with the iPhone, of course, you can record in 4K at 30 or 4K at 60 frames per second, whatever you want. And from what I'm seeing on the screens here, they both look pretty dark, so the recordings don't look that great with the ultra-wide cameras. So I'm just gonna spin around and we'll walk this way. So yeah, this is how a recording with the ultra-wide cameras on the back of these two devices would look like. So what do you guys think about those sample recordings done with the Poco F3? Was it good enough for a budget phone? Should have been better? Let me know your thoughts in a comment down below. Next, we're gonna move on and check out some selfies. And of course, we are starting with some daytime selfies. Now for colors, I personally prefer the colors from the Poco F3 for those daytime selfies. My skin tone actually looks like how it looks in reality. The iPhone does seem to oversaturate the colors of my face. So for daytime pictures, I almost prefer the pictures taken by the Poco F3, but for nighttime selfies, the iPhone does seem better, and mostly because it has a night mode for selfies, where the Poco F3 doesn't actually have a night mode for selfies. So what do you guys think about the Poco F3 and the cameras on it? Good enough for a budget phone or should have been better? Now, because I've tried the Redmi Note 10 Pro not that long ago, I feel that the Redmi Note 10 Pro does better with the main camera. I kind of prefer that one over the Poco F3, mostly for nighttime pictures. The Redmi Note 10 Pro was a bit better than the F3. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in a comment down below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that like button and I will see you in the next one.